Hi all, welcome to the channel. I'm Mark, this is Mark's Mods, and today we are going to attempt issue 15 of Build Your Own X-Wing, and apparently the reputation of this issue is not great. So I've been told that you need to follow the instructions, do what it says in the magazine, and hopefully we'll survive this. So let's get modelling. So let's have a quick look at the magazine like we always do. Okay, again we've got more design sets, recreating the X-Wing, Return of the Jedi set design. We've got more of it there again on Dagobah. We've got Jabba's sail barge in that picture there. Starfighter Aces Volt Skeris, never heard of him. Okay, more about him. And then this is what we've got to do. These are the parts that come in this issue. Now apparently it's all these pipes here which are going to cause the problem. Okay, and if we just look through the instructions, we are going to do start one of the power unit support power input units, but we've got all these tiny little bits to go on it, and I've heard that it can be a bit of a nightmare. So I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it goes smoothly for today, but let's have a see. So let's just get to the where we're going to start to build in the magazine. Okay, so let's get the bits out. So let's see if this is a nightmare for me like it has been a nightmare for some quite experienced model makers, I must admit. But the problem is we've got another 3 of these to do, which is slightly worrying. Okay, let's move that down there. Let's just get this little packet. Now I'm going to keep the little bits actually in the packet, because I just think it'd be a lot easier and a lot safer if I can get open this thing. Okay, one thing I might need today is I might need my set of tweezers, and I might also need my head set, but we'll see how we go as we get into it. So the first thing it's asking us to do is it wants us to combine these 2 parts here. No glue, we just slot them together like that. Okay, easy so far. Okay, and it says make sure you press them firmly together, which I have done so. And the first bit of detail it wants us to put on is, if I can find it, because of static electricity, some of the bits have actually stuck to the lid. So what I am going to do is I am going to get some tweezers out for this so I can pick them out easier. Okay, so it wants this little part first, and that's just going to go into the holes here and here. Let's do that now. And that's gone in nicely there. Okay, the next part it wants, if I'm reading this correctly, is this little part here. If you can see it on the camera, has got like a little notch, and it wants us to put excuse me, one of the D shaped. So I presume these are the D shapes. Let's have a look. Is that correct? Actually, no, it's one of these. Let me get my tweezers. It's one of these here. And as you can see, it can only go in one way because it's got that little notch on it there. And we bob that into place there. Okay, so we turn over the page. And what it wants us to do next Yep, that's correct. What it wants us to do next is it wants to take one of these pieces here. Now if I just position this the way it is in the magazine, and it wants us to put, it's this one here, it wants us to put this bit into this hole here on the part that we've just put in. A little bit fiddly, but I should be able to get away with it without my tweezers. And then once that's in, it wants us to push it down into place like so. Okay, and then it wants us to repeat the step on the other side. So we'll slot that in, and then we'll put this in on the other side like so. Okay, so we've done that now, and we've got a piece looking like that. Okay, now it wants us to take one of the longer bits, that bit there, if you can see, and it wants us to put that, let's have a look. So if we're looking at it from that angle, it wants us to put it in these two holes here. So let's do that now. Now I am using my tweezers on this one because the piece is a little bit bigger than what it should be, but I think right, that's in. So that was a lot easier with tweezers. Okay, so that bit's in there. Okay, and then it wants us to get this, I believe, piece here. And if we're looking at it from this way around, because I've got to look at it at the magazine way, it wants us to put this piece in next to it, top. And then I'm just going to guide it in with my tweezers to the hole underneath. A little bit fiddly. Tell you what we'll do, we'll put the bottom end in first, I think. Make life a little bit easy. So I'm going to use my tweezers just to place that in. It's not easy, and I can see why some people have had difficulties with it, but I think the worst is to come. Right, that's now in there. No, it was in there. Doesn't want to go in. Right, so let's try again. So if I go quiet, guys, it's because I'm concentrating. Right, let's try and put the top part in. Let's try and do it as we did before. And that just wants to come out. Keeps popping out. Try again. So that bit's in nice and secure. Try and bring this in. Bit of force. And that's now in place. So that's now that part done. If you can see that on there. This bit here. Okay. So we're putting this part aside for now. And it wants us to take one of these. And what it wants these 4 holes here and then a flat piece there to be laid out like that. And then it wants us to get the bits that look like as it looks in the magazine, which I don't think are them. I think it is these. So let's have a look. Let's turn them around, see if they look like what they should do. Yes, they are. And we only want 4. These things are very, very fiddly. We want 4. So 1, 2, 3. That's 3. I'm just making sure that they all look the same, which they do, and that's 4. Okay, now I've heard this is the bit where it starts getting difficult. Okay, so we're going to go through this nice and easy, nice and methodically. So it wants us to put this bended end here into the first hole on this flat piece with the holes in. Which I've done. Okay? And it wants us to continue that all the way down. So we need to repeat this another 3 times. Let's see if I can pick my piece up. Well, that one's in. Now, I think what happened with a lot of people went wrong is they used super glue. Now, I'm not going to use super glue because I'm going to do what the magazine says, and that's what a lot of people have said. They went in, they did something else. Oh, that one's just fallen out. And they decided to use super glue, and it all messed up. Now, I can understand why people would want to use super glue, because they are popping out left, right and centre. So let's try this other one in this hole. I'm trying not to edit this video because anybody who's been having troubles with this, I'm going to see if they can follow my instructions if I do it right. Right, that's in. You can always feel when it goes in properly because you'll feel that little bit of a sort of resistance and stuff. And that's the 4th one in. Okay. So apparently that is A done, and we put A aside because it now wants us to do B. Okay, so we're going to follow the same principle but in reverse. So let's get these out. Now if I turn, yeah, that's right, so that's in the right way. It is rather, yeah. They do, you see that's the issue, they do want to move around a bit, but I'm sure once we get them in, it'll be all worth it in the long run. This takes me back to my Millennium Falcon days. It really does. Because the sprues on them were fiddly. But I love that shit. Right, so we've done that now. We've got all of them in. Now, I haven't lined that one up properly because as far as I'm aware, we will be aligning them as we come. So we come to this part now. And I think this is now one of the bits where it becomes quite difficult. So let's have a look how it wants us to do this. Okay, so we start with A. And the, let's have a look. Is it A? A, yes, it is A. Now, the problem with that is, that's better. Yeah, that's right. So it wants to slot in there. Now, all these little points here want to go into the pipes. So that's the first one. And I think this is where a lot of people had troubles, because they glued them in at the first stage. So when it came to connecting it up to the pipes, they couldn't be moved. That's another one done. Last one on this side, and that's there like that. That looks, I know it says people were tearing their hairs out with it, but I think that looks quite impressive, to tell you the truth. Let me just try and get them all in properly. So that one's in, that one's in. The only thing I might suggest is, and I might just post-production, because these are in now, is maybe put a dab of glue down this bit here, just to make sure that they're held in tight. Okay, so we do the same on the other side. Okay, I'm just gonna free the, oh gosh, dropping it. And two have fallen out, typical. So what I'm gonna do is, we're going to do the same again. Now, I didn't find that last stage too bad. What I would advise maybe is, if you're doing this, get a decent set of tweezers. The tweezers I'm using are actually anti-static as well. Right. Okay, so we go over to the other side. And we slot in like so. I don't know why that's not wanting to sort of slot in. The other one did fine. Let's have a look why. Let's have a look. So that should be the same, but if it goes in that way. Right, I think it's this little notch that's getting caught. There should, I think I've been given two different, yeah. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this little notch out. So I'm going to have to take these pipes out, which is a bit of a shame. So let me just do this off camera, guys, and we'll be back before we know it. Right, I'm back. I've solved that issue. What it was, I've been given two different, well, the same thing, it's a different one, so bit of a fault on Diego Stini's part, but it's fixed. I'm actually going to do these one by one and put them in, but on the top, I know it says not to, but they keep popping out. I am just going to dab a bit of glue, bob that top bit into place, and then it stays there. So we'll do the same for the second one along. Nice bit on the cocktail stick. That's held in place. Next is the third. My son's just got home from school, so if you hear noise in the background, it's him. more glue. I'm just going to use my tweezers for this one. And last one, and I don't know, I've found this issue quite relaxing. Yeah, I don't know why, but I haven't found it hard at all. Fiddly, but not hard, like some people have been saying it is. And let's put the last one in. Let's not, because it's falling out. That's a frustrating thing about it, them falling out, but surely, you know, I've done smaller parts than this on models before and never had an issue. And there we go. And that's all into place. And that's it. That is that issue. And to tell the truth, I quite like that. I think that is nice and impressive. You know, you can see the pipes coming out of the engine, and yeah, I quite like that. And I found that issue quite pleasurable, to tell the truth. It wasn't really a chore. Suppose everybody has their own difficult things and ways of doing things, but I I enjoyed that. So, like again, it doesn't tell you what's coming in the next week's issue. We do get a little bit of a sneak little sneak thing sometimes of what's coming next week, if I can find it. No, it doesn't. Guess the build, but I actually have got issue 16, which is behind. I think I've got up to 16 up to 20. I think I have. So yeah. So I enjoyed that issue. Crazy. People have been saying it's an absolute nightmare. The pipes are a pain, but I quite like that issue. I like something I can get my teeth into. That's my phone going off. And yeah, must be strange like that. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you haven't done, please subscribe. This Thursday I am doing my first ever live YouTube night, and yeah, I'm a little bit worried, but it's basically we're going to chat about part work models and things like that, and just have a bit of a good laugh, really. So if you want to come and join in on Thursday from 8 o'clock, come down into the chat if you wish, or if you want to come on with us, that's totally up to you. So yeah, hit the subscribe button and give this video a like, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.